Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ashley and today we're going to be doing the first update in my Pan Those Eyeshadows Project Pan. Now this concept was created by Alexi. If you have not checked out Alexi, definitely do so. She is a fantastic panner. She comes up with some really creative projects. She also has some of the strongest eyeshadow game I have ever seen. She has gorgeous eyeshadow looks and I'm super jealous. But she came up with this project. It really blew up last year in 2019. Tons of people started doing it, and I was one of them. So last year I focused specifically on my discontinued and limited edition eyeshadow palettes, whereas this year I pulled in all of my eyeshadow palettes. So there are a lot for me to choose from. If you caught my inventory, you know I have an eyeshadow obsession and I make no apologies. So let's go ahead and talk about the eyeshadows that I pulled in last month and whether or not I've hit pan and get to roll in any new ones. So the first one that I drew came from my Colourpop Salvati palette. I absolutely love this palette. It is one of my favorites. The shade that I drew, let's see if I can do this without blinding anybody or covering it up. Good golly. All right, the shade that I drew is this one over here. It's called Luna. It is just a matte cream colored shadow. It's what I use to set down my eyeshadow base. Every time I do my eye makeup, there's a little bit of a dip going on, but nothing too substantial or crazy. Definitely nowhere near hitting pan on this guy. I did use it a total of 28 times since it was rolled into this project. So I do feel like as long as I can continue going strong like that, based on the amount of usage that I have, I'll probably be able to hit pan March-ish, but we'll see. I'm a light hand. I'm a light hand. So the next shade that I drew comes from the BH Cosmetics Illusion palette. I pulled in the 12th shade. These aren't named, they're just numbered. And this is that shade there. So I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera very well, but there is a pretty decent dip going on in this guy here. This is, let me go ahead and give you a swatch. I'm not going to bother swatching the matte cream color because it's a matte cream color. A, you know what that looks like, and B, you won't be able to see it against my incredibly fair skin tone anyway. So this is just a mid-tone brown. It does lean a little bit on the cooler side. It is what I have in my crease today, and it's one that I really enjoyed using over the course of the month. Now I will say that I have to be a little bit careful. I got a little heavy with it on my lower lash line one day and I looked tired. It created a shadow in an unflattering sort of way. So I don't like really using it on my lower lash line for that reason. I tend to go into something else. For instance, I'll show you what I have on my lower lash line today when we look at the next palette. But yeah, I love it in the crease. It pairs really well with some of the other shadows that I'm working on, and I've enjoyed using it. But yeah, the lower lash line was a no-go. So the next, I used that a total of 12 times since the beginning of this project. The next shadow comes to us from Colourpop as well. You had me at hello. The shade that I drew was this one right here on the end. It's called Candygram. It is what I'm wearing all over my lids today. I've really enjoyed using it. It is absolutely beautiful. It looks very pink, but it has a really fun gold reflect to it, almost like a duochrome. It is really pretty and I really have loved using it. I've actually been pairing it with the eyeshadow stick in my year-long project pan, panning from A to Z. The NYX Jumbo Eye Crayon in Iced Mocha. I'll color that all over my lid and then put Candygram all over the top of it. And it really just gives it this even more complex sort of look to it. And I've really enjoyed using it in that way. I've used it a total of 10 times since it was rolled in. And again, it is what I have on my eyes today. to kind of round out the rest of what I have on, I've been using this shade right here to deepen up the outer corner. This is a very deceptive shade. It looks brown in the pan, but it has this amazing sort of purple undertone to it, very plummy, so it pairs so nicely with Candygram here. Have really been loving that combination. And then this shade right here, this matte purple, is what I have all over my lower lash line to kind of give it that depth without looking bad. Bad's the only way that I can put it. I was so shocked when I walked into the bathroom at work that day. I get fluorescent lighting, not always the most flattering, but yeah, I did not look good that day. The next shade that I pulled in comes to us from this Tarte palette right here. This was the holiday palette that they released in 2017, if I'm not mistaken. It is, I always call it the origami palette because of the way that it just sort of folds open like this. And the shade that I randomly selected is this one right here in the shade Starry. So I've been kind of going back and forth between using Starry and using the shade number 12 from the BH Cosmetics palette because they do very similar things. The one from the Tarte palette though does lean much warmer, so they pair both quite nicely with Candygram here, so I just sort of use them interchangeably so that they both get some use. I don't know that that's necessarily the right approach because it means that they're both going to go more slowly, and as I've said before, I've got a pretty light hand as it is. I've used that a total of 8 times. You can still see the Tarte logo on there super clearly, so it's going to be hanging around for quite a while, I am sure. Tarte, their matte shadows are pretty firmly pressed, so it's going to take some time to get to the pan on that one anyway, but that is what she's looking like. And then the final shade that I drew is from my Lorac Mega Pro 4. This was the palette that I attempted to pan last year, and I'm no good at panning palettes. So I chose a very obnoxious color. So this shade right here called Light Sage. And this is one of the shades in this palette that I just don't enjoy. It is a kind of a, I can't even say a pastel green because it's not. It's because it's just chalky and gray with kind of a sick lean to it. It is not pretty on me. It is not pretty on me. I have used it 3 times. What I had been doing is, let me get back. So I will use this all through the crease and then take something like Steel Wool, which is this really metallic, oops, wrong direction, metallic icy silver, and pat that all over the lid, and that helps to kind of save the look, so to speak. And I've been enjoying it using in that way, but it's not that I enjoy the Light Sage shade, it's that I enjoy the whole look. So yeah, I've only used it 3 times. It is a very powdery shade, but I don't like it, so it's still probably going to take some time to get in there. I'm going to make a more concerted effort to use it more in the month of February just because I want to be able to roll it out. But yeah, that's where we are with that. So as far as the actual shades that are in this project, I don't have any pan. I can't roll any of them out. I can't roll anything new in. I also have the ability, once I've used a shadow 45 times, if I haven't hit pan, I do have the option of rolling it out. Clearly, I am nowhere near 45 uses on any of these guys here. But I did hit bonus pan, so there is a bit of a consolation prize. So here in this shade Unicorn, I did hit some pan there. Hopefully you can see that. So that was exciting. That was at least something. It's the first pan that I've hit in 2020. It's what I was using kind of on the inner corner and brow bone. And it's just a really nice, let's see, iridescent pinky purple. I don't even know if the camera's picking that up because it's super duper light. It is very pretty. I think that where'd my little piece of paper towel go? I think that if I was into colored highlights, I think I could probably blow through that pretty quickly. It might come off a little bit chalky, but because it's got that sort of icy, bluey, pinky purple duochrome action to it, I'm not someone that's super into that. So if you are and you have this palette, you might like that. But yeah, so I do have one. Oh, holy cow, I nearly just gouged out one of these shadows. I clearly need more sleep. Anyway, so not a super exciting update. Hopefully I will have more for you in February, but I definitely thank you for spending some time with me today. If you are working on this project, please let me know. I would love to go check out your videos. There are tons of them out there. I love binging on project pans and project pan updates and things like that. So definitely lots of watching hours about to be coming up here pretty soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will see you next time. Bye.